I'm Jessie Spano, and I'm so excited to bring you the stripped-out news brief for today's top stories. No sides, all facts. Let's dive in, shall we?
Welcome to the Stripped Out News Daily Podcast. Before we dive in, I wanted to let you know the Stripped Out News storefront is open and ready for business. If you want to support the project and get some premium gear, head over to strippedoutnews.com/merch. The vault is open. Thursday, June 25th, 2026. From Iran, tensions rising. House GOP threatens shutdown. Judge blocks immigration arrests. And time honors United States 250. Let's go. House Republicans are currently threatening to halt all legislative floor action, aiming to pressure the Senate into passing the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility, or SAVE America Act. This move could lead to a significant standstill in the House of Representatives, potentially preventing any other legislation from advancing. Republican Florida Representative Anna Paulina Luna has specifically indicated her intent to oppose all floor activity until the act is passed. The strategy involves leveraging procedural votes to compel Senate consideration of the legislation. President Trump has also weighed in on the matter, reportedly demanding the act's passage during a meeting on Capitol Hill. Furthermore, President Trump has rejected any form of compromise on the Save America Act, insisting on its full enactment. This position underscores a firm stance on the legislation's importance. The immediate consequence of this legislative threat is the potential for a complete disruption of the House's regular business. This could impede the passage of other bills and the overall legislative agenda until the demands regarding the Save America Act are addressed. Recent reports have brought to light comments made by Texas Democrat James Tallarico during a podcast interview. In the discussion, Tallarico reportedly stated, "I always think of myself as a Christian who hates Christianity." The interview featured an individual described as a self-identified, non-binary, transgender Latinx activist theologian. This theologian was reportedly cited by Tallarico as a significant source of inspiration for his perspectives. Further comments attributed to Tallarico from the podcast include suggestions that God is non-binary, expanding on his theological views. These remarks have emerged from what is described as an unearthed recording of the interview, drawing attention to his past statements. The statements are now circulating as Tallarico is a nominee for the Texas Senate, a position that often involves public scrutiny of personal beliefs. Public figures' views on faith and social issues frequently become points of discussion, especially during election cycles in politically diverse states like Texas. The impact of these specific comments on public perception and the ongoing political landscape in Texas remains a developing situation, as campaigns often address such revelations. There's a significant discussion underway regarding national right-to-carry legislation. President Trump recently announced his support for such measures during a speech in Reading, Pennsylvania, on a Tuesday. This initiative aims to establish a consistent right for individuals to carry firearms across state lines. However, the path to making this a reality is proving complex. Pro-Second Amendment organizations, the White House, and members of Congress are all involved in these discussions. While they reportedly share the common goal of establishing a national right to carry, they are currently debating the specific methods to achieve it. Multiple competing bills have been proposed, and the various parties have not yet agreed on which version to advance. This lack of consensus on a single legislative text has led to the stalling of the national concealed carry legislation. The challenge now is to reconcile these differing approaches to move forward with the shared objective. Stephen Miller recently appeared on a national news program following the New York primary elections on June 23, 2026. He used the platform to urge viewers to support Republican candidates in the upcoming midterm elections. Miller described President Trump as a crucial leader, asserting that he is protecting the nation from what he termed a tyrannical wave of left-wing insanity. He specifically mentioned concerns about ideologies promoting Marxism, socialism, and policies such as defund, dismantle, open borders, sanctuary cities, and states. The commentator highlighted a perceived irreconciled difference between two distinct political ideologies. One ideology, he claimed, seeks to label President Trump as a fascist dictator and engage in corruption. His remarks came after several progressive Democrats secured victories in the New York primaries. Observers noted the emotional intensity of his presentation during the broadcast. This discussion contributes to the ongoing national conversation about the ideological divides expected to shape the midterm election cycle.
The focus remains on how these differing political approaches will influence future policy and public discourse.
A notable trend of internal dissent and departures is emerging within the Republican Party. Several prominent figures are publicly distancing themselves or expressing opposition to established party stances, particularly concerning foreign policy. Media personality Tucker Carlson has stated he no longer supports the Republican Party, marking a significant public shift. He is joined by a growing faction, including commentator Candace Owens, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, and activist Nick Fuentes. This group has increasingly articulated views that diverge from the party's traditional foreign policy principles. Their opposition centers on specific foreign policy doctrines, indicating a challenge to long-standing consensus within the party. These public statements and actions suggest a deliberate positioning against what they perceive as core Republican foreign policy. This development is being framed as individuals voluntarily choosing to distance themselves from the party. Such shifts could influence future policy debates and potentially lead to new alignments within the broader conservative movement. A federal judge has issued a significant nationwide decision concerning immigration enforcement. This ruling, delivered on Tuesday by a California-based federal judge, specifically blocks federal agents from conducting civil immigration arrests within immigration courthouses. The judge determined that the Trump administration's Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, policy allowing these arrests violated the Administrative Procedures Act. This means the practice of detaining individuals for civil immigration violations at these courthouse locations is now halted across the country. The Administrative Procedures Act sets the standards for how federal agencies create and implement regulations. This decision underscores the legal scrutiny applied to immigration enforcement policies. The ruling's immediate impact is a nationwide injunction against these specific types of arrests. Further legal actions, such as an appeal, could follow this judicial determination. A study on COVID-19 vaccine effectiveness has now been published in an outside journal, JAMA. This research had previously not been published in a government health journal, a decision attributed to the acting director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The study's findings, released on Tuesday, provide specific data on the vaccine's performance. It indicated the vaccine was approximately 55% effective in preventing hospitalizations linked to COVID-19. Furthermore, the research showed a 50% reduction in COVID-19-related visits to emergency departments and urgent care clinics. The publication of these results makes this data publicly accessible, offering new insights into vaccine efficacy. This information could be relevant for ongoing public health discussions and future approaches to managing the virus. There's been a notable focus recently on the transparency of hospitals, particularly those operating as nonprofits. Historically, these institutions were often known for their charitable missions, but current discussions are questioning their level of operational openness. A significant development involves House Ways and Means Chairman Jason Smith, who put forth a proposal. This initiative aimed to require nonprofit hospitals to provide clear explanations of their financial and operational practices. The goal was to bring more clarity to how these facilities function and manage their resources. However, it appears that hospitals have been working to maintain their existing practices. They are reportedly resisting the adoption of these new transparency requirements. This suggests a preference for the current operational and disclosure standards rather than implementing the proposed changes. The ongoing debate highlights a broader interest in ensuring greater accountability from these healthcare providers. Future legislative actions could further shape how nonprofit hospitals report their activities to the public. Global chip stocks have recently experienced a significant surge in market value. This rise follows strong earnings reports from Micron Technology, a key player in the semiconductor industry.
Micron's positive financial results were accompanied by optimistic forecasts for its future performance. Adding to this momentum, Qualcomm, another major chip manufacturer, also released favorable projections. These combined announcements have reportedly reignited investor confidence in the artificial intelligence sector. The market's positive reaction suggests a renewed belief in the sustained growth of AI technologies. The rally in AI chip stocks is estimated to have contributed an additional $400 billion to their overall market capitalization. Asian stock markets also reflected this positive trend, showing significant gains. The developments are seen as easing previous concerns about the long-term trajectory of the AI market. This indicates a robust demand for the underlying components essential for AI development and deployment. Industry observers will likely continue to monitor the performance of these companies as an indicator for the broader technology sector. Humanoid robotics startup Agility Robotics is planning to go public through a SPAC deal. This transaction is expected to value the company at approximately $2.5 billion. Agility Robotics, which spun out of Oregon State University in 2015, develops a bipedal robot called Digit. These Digit robots have been deployed at major companies, including Amazon, Toyota, and the logistics firm GXO. The company anticipates generating $620 million in proceeds from the public offering. Additionally, it holds over $300 million in multi-year orders for its next-generation humanoid robots. The merger is planned with Churchill Capital Corp. 11, a special-purpose acquisition company led by Michael Klein. Upon completion, the company is expected to trade under the ticker symbol AGLT. A co-founder and chief robot